I am Ane Axford. My work is really about understanding that things are the way they are because of the way they relate, and that if we want them to be different, then we need to relate to them differently. We can learn how to respond to ourselves and to other people rather than reactive or judgmental or harsh. Gentleness is actually power. Natural horsemanship is also often referred to as horse whispering because it's a very gentle technique of working with horses rather than breaking them and utilizing fear and manipulation and punishment and pain and coercive or forceful techniques to get the horse to do what you want it to do. You are observing the horse in its own natural environment, and it's actually more about people training. Natural horsemanship is about training the person rather than breaking the horse.
My heart tells me to go spend 9.
The horse has a way of putting you into the moment without you even really thinking about having to step into the moment, and that's so essential because that brings out your truest self. You can be completely calm, or you can think that you're completely calm, but the horse could tell you otherwise. The horse is a litmus test for your emotions. It's really beautiful because with my own mare, she's so sensitive that I might come into the round pen thinking, I'm calm, I've got this. And she'll jump away from me. And I know better than to think that that's her. I know that it's something in me. It's some tension, maybe it's a worry that I brought in from the day. And if I sit on the mounting block for a couple minutes and practice my breathing, and I find that centered place again, it's miraculous how much my horse just wants to melt into me. So your true self really comes out. I mean, how quickly are you to act in a situation that's maybe a little bit frustrating or a little tense? How quickly can you calm down? The horse helps you gently figure out what areas in your life you need to improve on, but does so in a really gentle, non-judgmental way. I mean, they live so much in the moment that whatever happened 2 minutes ago, even if it was frustrating and you felt like maybe you broke your bond with your horse, the horse isn't even thinking about that 2 minutes later. So you have a fresh start every single moment to be better for yourself and for your horse. Just as quickly as you change back into being calm and relaxed, so will they.
I started a business with my sister, a birth hypnosis program. The first time I taught a class, it was just brutal. It was nerve-wracking, and I cried before and I cried after, and it wasn't comfortable for me at all. I went to one of my friends who I consider to be very wise, and she said, well, are you a leader or not? If you're a leader, you take your stand, and then if people get mad, they just get mad. I thought about it a lot and realized, that's not my leadership style.
What was your experience of horses before this?
I grew up out in the country, and we had horses, but I never really spent a lot of time with them. They were giant, and I got kicked in the chest once by one of them. I knew that they were sensitive, but they also seemed really unpredictable to me, so I wasn't, I don't know, I've never been super comfortable with horses. When I walked up and was first getting to meet my horse, I had that same experience of, this is this giant beast, and she's tossing her head around a little bit, and she's, making sudden movements. And then I was coached to kind of relax into it and breathe and just kind of be with her for a little bit. And she just relaxed right down. And we developed this trust. It was really interesting. It was faster than I expected. I would think a trust like that would have taken a year. It just feels really special to have the horse trust me to that degree, because I didn't feel like when I stepped into that ring I was very trustworthy in the realm of taking care of the horse's needs, and I didn't feel like the horse was very trustworthy either, because it's a great big thing that could step on me or kick me, but she just kind of melted right into it, and then so did I. It didn't take very long before I felt completely at ease just standing by this 1,000-pound animal and leaning on her.
So Laura, what do you think happened that brought about that change so quickly?
Relaxing into it, I think. I had to really willfully relax and follow my breath and just kind of notice my own body awareness in that moment. I think it sent a pretty clear message to her too. I mean, I think I really did get a sense of the mirroring of emotion. I know with the whole fight, flight, freeze scale, that horses particularly, they freeze and look to a leader. And I don't think that I was really being a leader, I think that I was kind of being one of the horses up to that point. And she probably felt my nervousness. Another shift happened because I really was able to step into that space and relax so much. And I was working on creating this trusting bond with her. But then asking her to take the next step, asking her to do some stuff and having to, really notice my body and step into that leadership again, it was hard on me. And I had this really emotional response that actually surprised me. I got teary at one point because I had to get firm with her and I had to move from this bonded, soft space with her into now I want you to do this. And again, she was back in that skittish place. She wasn't really sure. And when I finally stepped into that leadership role again, I started crying. It surprised me. And then identifying what it was also surprising and how it mirrored what goes on in my life. It was a challenge for me to step into that leadership role to that degree. And then it was really nice to see that, it was still okay. It was still safe for both of us. And we had some really nice moments after that where I got to cuddle her again, which I liked better, to tell you the truth.
That's your...
Yeah, I'm more of a cuddler. When I first started, I used to really take everything and internalize it and really feel it in such a big way and blame myself for a lot of stuff. It would just wipe me out constantly. As a leader, I've found it challenging to feel so much and to be so attuned to the people that I'm working with and to even disappoint them or make them angry sometimes. It's definitely been one of my biggest challenges to try to find a way to lead authentically and to find my own style so that it's not about, power or always being right. Knowing how horses respond and how sensitive they are, it makes me more aware of, throughout my life and my interactions with them, how much of that I drove.
You can feel that with the horse, as you started working with them, that they're kind of tentative. They're trying to stay safe. And so that is a profound need of our sensitive bodies also, and that our nervous systems are always picking up, trying to tune in, what's going on here? What information am I picking up on? Am I safe here? Can I relax here? Will I be taken care of? And so when you provide strong leadership, that's when your body can really relax. When you're using your conscious mind to be intentionally leading. It's such an experience of seeing how using your awareness in that way to lead with sensitivity actually pays off. That it is this relationship where you're listening. You don't just show up and say, hey horse, this is what I want you to do and here's how you're going to do it and let's go. You show up and you listen and you see what's its response to me and develop that rapport and that relationship. And see, this is beautiful. With their heads starting to go down, that means they feel safe. Because that's how they keep watch, is with their heads up and their eyes on the side of their head. And so the fact that they would even be starting to close their eyes and lowering their heads means that they feel really safe.
Look at how calm she is with you right now. When yesterday she was just kind of not very focused on you, and she really wants to be with you. So something definitely changed within you to get her to want to hook onto you like that. You're her favorite place right now in this whole field.
And that's so awesome. I love the way you just worded that. You're her favorite place. How awesome is that you could be your body's favorite place? That your attention, instead of feeling like it's being picked apart in this microscope of what's wrong with you, that being in your line of attention could be your body's very favorite, most relaxing, enjoyable place to be. We are sensitive beasts because we are made of flesh and blood, and we have these nervous systems and hormones that are constantly taking in information from the environment. And that's life. That's our biggest strength and resource, is to have that flow of information. And we can use that flow of information to punish ourselves. We can use that flow of information to communicate pain and force and hurt. Or we can use that flow of information to create support for it and to listen to it and to use it and to become empowered by it. And it is an either or practice. We can't simultaneously be hurting ourselves and also using it to empower ourselves. If we're using it to hurt ourselves, that changes our desire to listen. We start shrinking and cringing from feeling. We don't want to feel. We don't want to get that information from our nervous systems. We can't be doing both at the same time, punishing ourselves, hurting ourselves, and also empowering and supporting ourselves. So we need to pick, and we need to decide.
It felt very foreign to me. It felt so odd and almost like who I was and who I wanted to be was at odds with having to be the boss. On a deeper level, it made me step back and realize that I had those things disassociated from each other. You know, that me being gentle and kind and touching and bonding was very disassociated from me being the boss. It's given me a little bit of breathing room. It's given me an opportunity to take a look at myself and figure out, you know, if that's true. Is it true that I can't be both at once, or is there a way that I can bring who I really am and what I really want into my role as a leader? This animal that, you know, could be kind of intimidating, but instead stepped in closer to me and wanted my leadership. It was a pretty powerful moment to realize that those two things could coexist. When I stepped back into the pen today, after spending so much time with her yesterday, and she melted into me again, that was really neat too, to know that it wasn't just that moment in time, but she kind of recognized that it was me. When I do lead, it's not about being mean, it's not about scaring somebody, but I can be myself, step into that powerful place. Seeing the relief in the horse when I did that, I mean, I think that we all look to our leaders to do something like that. And something that I'd been missing all along was that they really wanted me to lead. Taking that kind of awareness into leading a group, into leading people, and knowing that I can do it with kindness and gentleness and all of my sensitivity, but then also the relief that they might feel, knowing that, you know, yes, I know exactly what direction we're going, and I've got this.
You can give yourself this last chance here with the horse to not have to control it in the same way that you don't have to control yourself. And instead just to listen.